Hello students, myself Rakesh Misra. Now we are going to discuss about the sample paper of class 11th biology. This is very important sample paper for class 11th session 2020-21. Here I have selected the very important series of revision from Kendriya Vidyalaya Sangathan, that is very reliable paper, and you need to focus on 70 marks question. This may be asked in the examination, so you need to focus on each and every question that are given in the question paper. Actually, the general instructions should be noticeable by you. The time duration may be increase or decrease as per the demand of institution, but you need to focus on the question paper. The question paper patterns are based on 70 marks, and rest 30 marks question is actually come from your practical examination that will held before or even along with the examination. This is session ending question paper. It means this is the annual question paper. So many of the question from this sample paper may be taught or untaught, but each and every question will be discussed and describe their solution in this video lecture. You need to focus on each and every question. Here you have the four different section A, B, C, D. Each section has their own marks, and the marks are given in each questions of the section. So you need to focus each question. One thing you would like to note it, the open based text assessment is actually not in our syllabus. That is actually called as OTBA. OTBA type question is actually not in our syllabus from session 2019-20, means the last session. From the last session, the OTBA type question was not there in our syllabus, so you don't need any kinds of question. And the question paper in this section, in this question paper, and the question from this section, if not in our syllabus, then that will be not actually revised, only the general knowledge will given in the direction. So you need to focus each and every question. Now let back over the section A and revise the question very thoroughly. The question is, how is eukaryotic ribosome is differ from prokaryotic ribosome? Listen carefully. The eukaryotic ribosome is differ from prokaryotic ribosome. As you all know, the higher animals as well as plants, maybe the unicellular or multicellular organisms, having a clear cut boundary is placed in eukaryote, and the animals without nuclear membrane are fall in the prokaryotic group, maybe the bacteria and many mycoplasma. So here only the ribosomes are given for the question. So ribosome of eukaryotic cell is ATS. It is ATS type, and in prokaryote the ribosome is 70S type. Listen, the ATS ribosome are found in eukaryotic cell, and the 70S ribosome are found in prokaryotic cell. In prokaryotic cell, the 70S ribosome is divided into 50S and 30S. In eukaryotic cell, the ATS ribosome divided into 60S and 40S. That is very interesting. Most of you get confused regarding this fact, that is, if you add, let us talk about, due to some reason there is need to know what about the ribosome type in eukaryote and ribosome type in prokaryote. Listen, the in eukaryote the ribosome is ATS type, and in prokaryote the ribosome type is 70S. The ATS ribosome is divided into 60S and 40S, and 70S ribosome divided into 50S and 30s. This is noticeable fact because 50s and 30s if you add will be 80s, that is similar to eukaryotic ribosome, and 40s 60s will be 100s, that is not in case of either the prokaryotic or eukaryotic. So this is very interesting things, that is depend upon the Schwarzschild unit. As for Schwarzschild unit, this is not a parameter of any kinds of the quantities that you have often studied as a quantities for the weight, quantities for the length, quantities for the any volume of liquid substances. This is the Schwarzschild unit, in which the 60s, 40s, 50s and 30s is nothing. Only this is the type of unit, this is the type of coefficient factors by which the 70s or 80s ribosomes are categorized. This will explain detail in video lectures, and that is already explained during the full description of ribosomes. If you ask, then I will provide you the video description of the structure of ribosomes and why they are placed as a 40s, 60s or 30s, 70s. So the question is, eukaryotic ribosomes and prokaryotic ribosomes are differ only their common structure 80s, and this is the 70s type. Now back to the next question. The next question is estivation. What is estivation? Listen, estivation in biology are basically two in terms. The long summer sleeping of the animals are actually called as estivation. But here, this is from your chapter 5, morphology in flowering plants. The arrangement of sepals, petals inside flowers or floral buds are called as estivation. The arrangement of sepals, petals and the floral leaves inside the flower buds is known as estivation. So this should be noticeable, and this may be the volvate type. As you all know, the imbricate type, listen, twisted auxiliary type. So these are the different types of floral estivation. The next question is related to the bond, peptide bond. What is peptide bond? Show it by bond formation. The peptide bonds are common in the monomeric unit of protein. The monomeric unit of protein is the amino acid. One amino acid along with another amino acid form the bond that is known as peptide bond. So how can you explain the peptide bond? Peptide bonds are explained by the bond formed between two amino acids for the structure of protein, that is known as peptide bond. Show it by the bond formation. So let me talk how can we represent the peptide bond formation. Listen, here I am going to describe the peptide bond formation. As you all know, for the peptide bond formation, there is a need of a zwitter ions of one amino acids and zwitter ions of another amino acids. Listen, this is the zwitter ions of one amino acids R1, and this is the zwitter ion of another amino acid, zwitter ion of another amino acid R2. Listen, here one group is amine group and other group is carboxylic group. This is the one amino acid, this is another amino acid. So amine group of one amino acid is more close to the carboxylic group of another amino acids, while the amine group of the first amino acid is far away from the carboxylic group, and here the carboxylic group is far away from this amine group. So let us see how bond form between the two amino acid respectively. Listen, actually the amine group of one amino acid is near to the carboxylic group of another amino acid. So this amino acid has amine group, and this amino acid involve their hydrogen with the OH of carboxylic group of the first amino acid. Listen, and this release the water. This release the water, and as the water release, there will be a bond form. That bond is actually known as peptide bond. So let I introduce where is the peptide bond form. This area is actually filled by the peptide bond. Listen, this form the peptide bond. Listen, this form the peptide bond. This generate the peptide bond, and this bond is known as the peptide bond. Listen, this bond is known as peptide bond. So here your concept regarding peptide bond is clear. So one amino acid involved with another amino acid to generate the very strong bond that is known as peptide bond. I hope your concept regarding the peptide bond and their formation is clear. If you have any doubt or problems regarding this, then you can frequently ask me what is the peptide bond formation and the process. Here the question number 4 is, what is the major limiting factor for photosynthesis? The major limiting factors are those that can affect the photosynthesis. It may be the light, it may be the carbon dioxide, it may be the temperature, it may be the water. So these are the major limiting factors that can affect the photosynthesis. During the chapter of photosynthesis, I have told you some factors that can affect the overall rate of photosynthesis, by which the rate of photosynthesis may fall down. That is called as law of limiting factors. So with the help of law of limiting factor, you are able to know how the photosynthesis get affected. So I hope question number 4, 3, 2 and 1 is clear. If you have any doubt or problem, then you can frequently ask me what you have learned from the important sample paper. This sample paper is very important, and like this sample paper, I will also have provide you the different other kinds of sample paper that is unrelated from this sample paper. The question number 5 is, in which condition the JG cells release renin? What is JG cells? The juxtaglomerular cell. Juxtaglomerular cell. The juxtaglomerular cells in which condition secretes renin? You need to focus about the juxtaglomerular cells. Actually, the juxtaglomerular cells release the renin that secrete that is responsible to change the very important protein, that is angiotensinogen, into angiotensin first, and that angiotensin is actually later convert into angiotensin second. So JG cells actually activate even when the GFR or glomerular filtration rate get fall down. So your answer will be if the GFR or glomerular filtration rate get fall down. Full description of the regulation of GFR will be described by me in the any other video lecture, but you need to focus how the JG cells get activated. JG cells get activated even if GFR or glomerular filtration rate get fall down. And the mechanism of JG cells, listen, the juxtaglomerular cells secretes renin, and this renin stimulates the synthesis of angiotensinogen into angiotensin first, and later further the renin work over here to convert angiotensin first into angiotensin second. This angiotensin is a strong vasoconstrictor that increase the pressure and maintain the GFR. So I hope from this question the section A is actually very easy, and that can be noted by you in your own language that I have introduced. In next video lecture I will aware you what about the probable answer of section B. Thank you.